In example number 6, we're going to go ahead and multiply complex numbers. And once again, they have the same behavior, the same properties as we would if these were variables. All right. So, and you'll see that right now. So it's kind of nice to have a section like this chapter or this part, section 8.7, to being a little more lighter than the other sections that, like that one that had the double squaring. Dang, dude, that guy was pretty hairy, but these guys are much less complex. Nevertheless, though, we still got to do work, though, and need to understand what's going on here. All right, so let's do, so since we have a number that's on the outside of the parentheses, again, this means to use the distributive property. So we're going to multiply 6i times 4, and then 6i times 3i. So let's do this first. 6i times 4 is 24i. Again, you just do 6 times 4 is 24, and then you just tack on the I. Plus 6 times 3 is 18, and then again I times I is I squared. And remember how we learned that if I equals the square root of -1, then I squared must equal -1, because if I square the square root, it gets rid of the radical, and I have just -1. So this is going to become a -1 right here. 18 times -1. So really our answer is 24i minus 18. Okay, I squared is -1. So this is like 18 times -1, which is then negative right here. Okay, come over here. We're going to go ahead and again do the FOIL method that comes up quite often. So we'll do first. So 6 times 2 is our 12. And then we do 6 times 4i. So that's going to be a plus 24i. And then we do the I. So inside. Negative 4i times 2 is a negative 8i. And negative 4i times a plus 4i is a negative 16i squared. All right, so let's do some cleaning up here. I'm going to drop the 12 down, but I can go ahead and combine these guys together, right? 24 minus 8i is going to give us a 32i. Oh, no, wait a minute, that's a negative, so we're going to subtract there. Okay, so it's going to give us a positive 16i, and then over here we have negative 16 times I squared. Again, I squared means -1. So think of this as negative 16 times -1. Negative 16 times -1 is a positive 16. All right, I can go ahead and add those guys together, and we get 28 plus 16i. Cool beans. Let's go down here to part C. Again, let's do the FOIL method here. Okay, FOIL. And they work the same way as part B. So 3 times 3 give us our 9. 3 times 4i will give us our 12i. And then 2i times 3 will give us our 6i. And 2i times 4i, let's just do this in one move now. 2 times 4 is 8, but then I times I is I squared, which is negative. So this is going to be a negative 8. Okay, let me do that again a little more slowly. 2 times 4 is 8, but then when we do I times I times I is I squared, and if you take I squared, that's -1. So -1 times 8 is a negative 8 then. All right, I can go ahead and combine those guys together, and I could also combine those guys. So 9 minus 8 is 1, and 12i plus 6 is plus 18i. Alrighty, that's it.